year and a half or 2 years, it's been...
That's bad.
Alright, so this is one of the rare moments where I have a chance to actually work on some of my own stuff for change, which doesn't seem to happen too often anymore. Anyway, I guess I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth there. Let's work on the Skylark some more. The Skylark is quite close to being road ready. It's got the Terminator X Max mostly installed. There's a handful of the loose wires to connect. Everything engine side and transmission side is all plugged in and ran, so that's good. ECU's mounted. We've got wheels and tires on it. Need front tires. They're a little dry rotted, but it'll work good enough for now. So basically just a little bit of wiring and put it all together, radiator, stuff like that. But before we do that, I want to paint the car, and I've been trying to figure out a color that I wanted to go with for quite a while. Basically, that's been kind of one of the things holding up progress on that car for 2-3 weeks now, is trying to decide what color to go with. And I even put a poll up on Instagram with some choices. Obviously the basic red, kind of a flat satin black like it is now, but redo it so that it looks good. There was a nice like forest kind of green, like a metal flake forest green that I thought looked good. And I was thinking about gold. I thought gold would look sweet. So I put that poll up on Instagram, and to my surprise, the #1 choice was green. And I was really close to buying green, but I don't know. I decided to go with something else that I thought fit the theme of the car a little bit better. You know, the death row Skylark, the car that's been scrapped and left for dead twice, basically. So finally picked a color. All of that showed up last couple days. Let's see, primer, paint and stuff, clear, pretty sure that's all up there. So luckily the car is actually pretty straight. It's got some sort of like bed liner that was like rolled on it, it looks like. So we need to go over that thing with like some 60 grit. But the car itself is pretty straight. So there's not gonna be a ton of body work, but I do have to do the fenders, and there's a couple other spots that I might not mess with because it might just make things worse. But yeah, so I need to clean the shop up. Neighbor's coming to pick up that motor. I think I hear him in the tractor right now. I need to weld up one small hole on the black fender right down there. This one looks like there's a small spot there, and I'm gonna see if I can straighten that out. So let's get to work. All right, it is the next day. Hood and fenders got a coat of primer on them. Just not a final coat, obviously, just a rough coat to check everything out.
All the rest of all the fucking primer I had.
Yeah, just that spray can.
No, oh yeah, I went through that too. No, I had a parcel of primer over there in a gallon,
Yeah,
so I wasted it all on this
yeah, just to check everything.
instead of opening up the new one.
Yeah, I've got a big gallon there
Yep.
of, I think it's 2K. And then he's been sanding on the car all day. Looking a hell of a lot better. It's got to be a lot lighter, that's for sure. A couple little spots had to get filled in. This was caved in about 1/2 inch. He had to pull that out. And then just like a pinhole there, and a couple little spots back there that we need to fill in. And still have this side to do, but this side's looks a little bit straighter aside from right here on this door. A little bit more sanding, a little bit more spraying, a little bit more mud.
On this side. Yeah.
Yeah, right down there.
Oh, see. Nothing, no other surprises.
No, everything else looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like the car itself is pretty straight to begin with, just
Oh, yeah.
it's a 50-year-old car.
Yeah.
So it's getting there.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time.
There's another another disastrous day of sanding. I don't mind sanding underneath.
Yeah.
There is, besides laying on the ground and going up and having all the dust fall on you, there is no other way of doing it.
Yeah, not really. Let's try and pull that bumper off. Alright, carriage bolts are just spinning in the frame, so Captain Inferno's making a rare appearance again. I did say let's move the blanket, and he said that takes all the fun away from it. Let's heat that tire up.
Comes right back in.
There we go. You got her. Yeehaw. Didn't even damage the lights. Let's go. Oh, look at all that accessibility now. Well, this is day 2 of trying to get this thing as straight as we can here, and it's turning out pretty good, considering how it started from a junkyard. It's really not too bad. We are damn near ready to start spraying some primer. All right, it's primer day here.
What?
Said it's primer day here. Hopefully.
Need tape over here.
I can do that. Yeah, getting it all taped off. Luckily, there's not a whole lot to tape off. Just the windows, a little bit of trim, drip molding, and a little bit of the front. I might pull this lower trim off, look underneath it. Do that real quick. But yeah, we got this thing, obviously not perfect, but pretty dang straight. So we're gonna spray some primer on it, see how it's looking. And if it's looking pretty good, who knows? Might be in color by the end of the day. Wouldn't that be something? You guys guess what color it is yet?
I wish to know more about you.
God dang.
Jesus Christ.
They wanted to make sure that thing was secured.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yep, so this is Super Fill Black 2K Primer. It was, I don't remember how much it was. It wasn't super expensive though, from eBay. And then we got the car all taped off. Just have to throw some blankets over the tires. And hope that we don't get any big gusts of wind, because this tape is trash, dude. This tape is trash, dude. But it should be good enough to get a couple squirts on there and see how straight we got everything. I think it'll be pretty dang good. Good enough for us for sure. This thing's not going to be a 10/10 show car by any means. I just want it to look good from this far away and drive the fucking shit out of it, dude. I've been actually really falling in love with this car the past few days working on this thing. I just love the shape and all the lines on it. So we're gonna try to do our decentest to get this thing okay.
Shit's thick.
Yeah, it is. That's that super fill.
Just where you get that shit on you and you can't get it off.
Yeah. This is that reverse Michael Jackson stuff.
Oh my god. And I have to grip one glove and walk around telling everybody to beat it.
Got the hood looking pretty decent. You're not a professional? You mean to tell me this isn't a professional paint shop? Yeah, we didn't notice it until a couple days ago. This section of the hood was all caved in, so got that looking pretty decent. Good enough for us once that trim's on. Once I gotta come up with that trim because I don't have it. But once that trim's on, should be pretty dang good. It should go without saying we're not going to do the paint out here. We're just doing the primer out here because, you know, it's primer. If it gets some dirt and shit in it, not the end of the world. We got to sand it anyway. Yeah, that tape does not stick to itself at fucking all.
What?
That tape doesn't stick to itself.
Nope.
It sucks. It's on the trim and everything just fine and like against the glass, but sticking to the back of itself, that tape sucks. Never using that again. Yeah, for the most part, it's not too bad. There's a little wave at the bottom of the door there. Not a big deal. Like I said, not a show car. Just want it all one color. Yeah, this thing looks sweet though. I like the black. I need to have him spray the inside of the door here. All right. I'll be honest, guys. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but I think this thing's about as good as we're going to get it. Obviously, we need to block it off pretty good, but it's pretty dang straight on this side. On the other side, the bottom of the door has a little wavy spot, but yeah, you can see it. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, I don't know. But there's not really much we can or want to do about that, so I think this is about as good as we're gonna get it. And like I said, we played with the gun setup a little bit, so there's not nearly as much orange peel. I think the biggest thing we're fighting is we just don't have the right size tip for the gun. We need like a 1.7 to 2.2, and the biggest we've got is a 1.4, but that'll be fine. Most of the paints and clears, a 1.4 works really well. With a high build 2K like this, they say a 1.7 to 2.2 would be a lot better, so I think that's most of what our issue is. And, you know, painting it out in the dirt driveway. But yeah, this thing's turning out really good. Like I said, I think we got it plenty straight enough. We just need to finish sand it and then roll it in the garage and we can start painting it. But it's gonna take a lot of sanding still. All right, got the car pushed in the garage and blocking it off. And it's actually pretty dang smooth. So this stuff sands out really easy, it seems. Wet sanding the roof with 240 because that was super, super rough. But like I said, it sands really easy. So that's nice. I think the body and everything else, just going to be able to dry sand. Don't think we'll have to do another coat of primer on the car or the fenders. The hood, maybe, depending on how that front looks. Yeah, so we might see about getting it in color tonight. So hopefully by now all you guys have left your comments guessing what color we're going with. Like I said, we put up the poll on Instagram a while back with satin black, green, gold, and red. So
Homie, don't paint green.
I think the green would have looked nice, but
Oh, it'd have to be like a forest green for me.
well, yeah, that's what it was gonna be. It was a dark, like emerald green, and I think it would have looked nice, and it would have been close-ish to the original color of the car, which was like a dark pea green. But I don't know. This car, with the story of being pulled out of the junkyard, the death row Skylark, I felt like it just had to be black. I was originally thinking redo like the flat or satin black, kind of like Jason Dratti's, what is it, Cutlass, Pat. But ended up trying to class up the joint and got some jet black gloss that hopefully
Will show up every little fuck up I ever had in my life, going back to my childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, when I told him that I ordered gloss black, he was like, you asshole. We'll see how it turns out. We know it's not going to be a show car.
No painting booth, no tanning salon for it. It's called fucking garage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many cars have we painted in here now?
Oh God, I don't know.
I ain't even got enough fingers for that.
I don't even think you got enough toes for that.
Shit, just in the last year and a half or 2 years, it's been... God damn. You got it, though. All right. Got it mixed 4-to-1 to 1 and tossed in the gun. Hopefully this shit works.
You got no shit.
Yeah, a buddy of mine who's actually really good with paint said that you can tell if something's cheap because it'll be like 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 or whatever. Said the better the paint, the lower the ratio, like 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. Oh yeah. So far so good. Got a few coats of color on everything. Looking pretty decent. We're about to move on to the clear coat. This is from Speed Coat. It's a 2K clear. Probably also 4-to-1.
Yep.
Yep, 4-to-1. Yep. Start getting that mixed up and loaded up and start spraying everything. Got a couple things mixed up. Already dumped it in here. He's out here spraying. Alright, we let it tack up for a few minutes and we just pulled the tape and everything off, and my God, does this look so much better. Look at that thing, dude. Fuck, that looks good. This is like exactly what I was hoping for, to be honest. Just like a real good 10-footer. Get up close, you can see some imperfections, but hey, you don't need to be that close to my car anyway. Something that looks good, but set wrenches and hammers and stuff on top of it, not have to worry about it. I am super thrilled with this thing. I think it turned out perfect. And like I said, once we get the trim around the windshield and back window, bumper on, side markers on, door handles on, everything looking pretty good. Pop the hood, got that nice gold motor. Fuck! This thing's gonna be sweet. Full interior, bench seats, extra sweet. Fuck yeah, man. I'm stoked with this. And didn't even have to spend a fortune on it. Like I said, I've got maybe $350 into all this, and just a couple days sanding, trying to get things fairly straight, and one old man who can keep his hand steady. It has been a couple days, and we got the Skylark back in my place now, so I can start slowly putting it back together. So basically, the only things this needs, eventually a real drive shaft, because it still just has the like a mock-up one in it right now, which will be okay, but once we try to start putting any sort of power to it, I'd like to have a real drive shaft put in it. The shifter I've got in the trunk of the 55 over there, because we're using the 4L80, which I was going to use in the 55, but we'll end up putting the 400 in that. Might put the big block in that too, to be honest, just in an effort to get it kind of on the road relatively quickly. Exhaust system, I think I'm going to put the blower on this car. Might not do it right away. Might just get it running NA. That way it's just turnkey, ready to go. Got to wire things up. I have no idea how much of the stock chassis wiring works in this car, so I might have to go through and redo all that. And then obviously put the front end back on the car. I got to weld up one small spot on the bottom of the core support where it bolts to the frame here, and get the body mounts for that, so that the height is right. Yeah, and then cooling system, you know, just basic hot rod stuff at that point, nothing real special. And put the interior together. I got the back seat there, and a bench seat to toss in it, because this thing is going to just be a full interior street machine. Should still be pretty dang quick though, hopefully. Especially once the blower's on it. It should make like 600 or so at the tire, which will be pretty dang good. So anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. I think the eBay paint actually turned out pretty well. I know a lot of people have reservations about using eBay stuff, but I'll be the guy who's willing to take the risk and use it and see how it goes. And I'd say 8 times out of 10, it turns out pretty decent. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell. I'll see you next time.